As you can see, we're indoors, which means it's really kind of chilly outside. Well, at least it's not snowing here in Southern California, but there's a lot of news coming out because with the G20 summit going on, boy, there's lots of Obama in the news, as always, but we're going to bring Oldecam on for comments on the headlines of today. Oh, and one other thing is, because we do follow 10 Downing Street, on Twitter, you can find out what's actually going on because we're getting the play-by-play. So for now, we're going to bring Oldecam on for comments on the headlines. Media panel says constant Obama coverage warranted because he is the greatest president ever in the worst crisis in the history of the world.
Yeah, and basically it was done by a left-wing panel. I mean,
well, actually, you can always tell because
every time they bring out he is the greatest in the worst crisis, it's not the worst crisis. I mean, they automatically throw out World War I, the Civil War, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Great Depression, the stock market collapse. Those are all thrown out.
Well, the recession is now over and the stimulus worked.
It didn't really start until yesterday, which was April Fool's Day.
I know, isn't that kind of funny? Well, April Fool's Day, the G20 summit, and
yeah, and they said the stock market is in the most miraculous turnaround in history. Of course, the problem is all in things that Mr. Obama is in charge of, and since he owns everything, he can tell people what they're doing, and the government's not going to challenge it. If they say, well, yeah, our profits have grown by 2 million% last week. Who's going to say it isn't? Of course, we did hear a reporter this morning on the left talking about the fact there's a lot of, like he said, a lot of BS about the stock market.
Analysis, the G20's hidden issue is global trade imbalance.
Yeah, George Bush is at fault.
Yeah. South Korea seeks united front against North Korea rocket launch.
Not with Mr. Obama in charge. He said this morning again, we are going to go to the United Nations if they fire this missile, and we're going to shame them in front of the world.
If they cared about being shamed, they would be doing it.
I think he's, like a lot of people on the left, they think that if you can convince these people that are evil that that's not the way to go. They're evil because they want to be that.
Promises a fresh start for U.S. and Russia relations.
They said that Mr. Obama is being, basically, if Mr. Obama carried cash in his pocket, they'd walk out with it.
You're probably right on that one.
That's right. He is so not. They said, okay, I did hear another thing. One of the poor reporters said, one of the BBC people said he's either totally retarded or he's the most naive politician we've ever seen.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the press is not enamored with Obama anywhere in the world. It's editors love him.
Well, and that's around the world too, probably.
Yep.
Democratic leaders tempers expectations for 2010.
Well, yeah, they're now the same people that brought you, this last election are now bringing you in the new election, of which 2010, in which they're going after their own party members as being too conservative. They said they're dangerous to Obama's plan for success.
Wait,
they must be removed.
The Democrats are going after the Democrats?
Yeah, one of the guys said they formed a traditional Democratic circle and are now shooting one another. Well, they said that they think that they need to make they're not going to lose. They're picking off the senators and congressmen that are already there to replace them with people that are more liberal, because the people that are there don't support Obama's plans.
Enough or at all?
They don't support it enough, but they said what will happen is they'll put people in that the people won't vote for. Which means
that means the Republicans gain the seat.
He said they're handing Republican Senate and House seats, which the Republicans have been counting on for months now.
Oh boy. Pentagon seeks $3 billion for Pakistan's military officials say.
Which one? We want Mr. Obama, or this is called fat chaps?
Man dies at G20 summit protests in London.
Yeah, well, they're becoming violent now, because they're the only person listening to him is Obama.
Listening to whom? The protesters?
The protesters. He's going to have a personal meeting with the leaders of the protesters so that they can tell him their grievances against the United States.
Oh my gosh! Basically, anyone that does a protest can meet with Obama?
Well, yeah, they did say he apologized for what we have done to the world, to the protesters this morning.
But this is London. Over in Europe, they protest at football games.
They said that Democrats feel the necessity to apologize to everybody for everything.
Oh. And then they still do what they want to do.
Well, yeah.
Voluntary test nipped salmonella-tainted pistachios in the bud.
Yeah, these are the same. Okay, these are the same people, Mr. Obama, that we're going to have a more strenuous testing procedure. So they're letting the people police themselves now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, because they don't have the money. The same thing as under Bush. You don't have the money or the manpower to test everything.
Well, duh, you don't.
I know, but it's once again, it's Mr. Obama's hypocrisy, folks. On the one hand, Mr. Obama says we're going to have more strenuous testing. On the other hand, he's going to rely more on the people doing the testing themselves.
Isn't that what got us in trouble with the peanuts in the first place? House OK's weaker bailout bonus bill.
Yeah.
There's a weaker one?
That has to do with the fact that they caught the House members giving employees $10 million in bonuses.
What?
Yeah. At the same time, they were condemning other bonuses.
They
said that their plan, they said the House and Geithner's plan are totally dead in the United States Senate. That's where the problem is, because the Senate, I heard one of the Bruce Bytock is one. He's one of them they're targeting to get kicked out, saying that if we keep telling people that they can't make any money for doing their job, they're not going to do their job.
Yeah.
That's what we're telling them.
I mean, yes. And Venezuelan offer for Guantanamo.
Yeah, they're offering to take all of the prisoners off the United States' hands and free them.
Obama's aunt gets reprieve in asylum case.
Did anybody think that she wasn't? She is Obama's aunt. She's here. But remember, there are no illegal aliens anymore. There are just true American patriots.
But you know what? It's his aunt. You would expect that. So,
My father said that when he became a police officer back in the 1930s, they said, that you aren't supposed to, while you're not supposed to arrest your own relatives, you let somebody else do it for you.
Oh. Stevens' case dismissal raises questions of Justice Department integrity. Well,
yeah, they basically they wanted to get rid of him and put somebody else in younger.
That was not from that party?
Yeah, because Stevens was a thorn in the side of the Republicans, so the Justice Department basically decided to remove Stevens.
Nissan, Honda, and Toyota surge on better than expected U.S. sales. Folks,
they had record bad sales. They reported record bad sales yesterday. I can guarantee you they're all like 39-45% worse than what they'd hoped for.
Well, better than expected. That has to do with expected.
They said it was worse. Toyota and the other companies said it was worse than they could. In their worst nightmare, they couldn't have dreamed that last month would have been as bad. I mean, one of the companies sold 90,000 cars in the United States. That's a disaster.
U.S. to boost ports of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border.
Well, yeah, because you want to have more true American patriots coming into the country.
I did hear this morning that, they thought 90% of the guns in Mexico were from the United States.
Oh yeah, you know where they come from?
Yeah.
They come from the guns that we ship to the Mexican military and the guns that we ship to the police departments. They're selling them. Well,
now they have a clarification that it's 90% of the traced guns. No, actually it's 83%. Actually, they flip-flop the numbers because there's a lot of them that aren't traced, and some of them from other countries.
Yeah.
They don't have the U.S. markers, so they don't submit them for tracing.
That's right, but most of the guns are legitimately purchased, and then they're making money by selling their weapons.
Oh yeah, you mean losing them?
Yeah.
Report, North Korea fueling rocket for impending launch.
Yeah, and they're threatening the United States.
Monty Bubbleism from the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom.
You often have to do things you don't want to do in order to get things done.